Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Society. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe you've had a long day, or perhaps you're the kind of person who likes falling asleep to fascinating thoughts about the world around you, or in this case, the world within you. Either way, tonight's journey is designed just for you. You've got nothing to do but rest. Let your mind settle, your breathing slow, and your body grow comfortable as if you're sinking softly into the most welcoming embrace. Because tonight, we're not traveling through distant galaxies or ancient civilizations. We're exploring something even closer, something you carry with you every moment of every day. We're discovering the human body. Your body is a universe, not a metaphor, but a living, breathing cosmos containing somewhere around 37 trillion cells. Each one a tiny factory performing thousands of chemical reactions every second. It's a system so intricate that we're still making new discoveries about it, even after centuries of study. From the delicate firing of neurons in your brain to the silent dance of molecules crossing cell membranes, from the rhythmic pulse of your heart to the quiet strength of bones bearing your weight, your body is working right now in ways that would seem like magic if we didn't understand the science behind them. Tonight, we'll wander gently through the major systems that keep you alive. We'll explore bones that rebuild themselves, muscles that remember, a brain more complex than any computer, a heart that beats over 2.5 billion times in an average lifetime, and organs you might never have heard of that were only recently discovered. Along the way, you'll learn about cells that travel like tiny armies, chemical messages that cross your body in seconds, and systems so interconnected that the line between one and another often blurs into something beautifully ambiguous. And before we begin, if these calm explorations help you unwind or give you a peaceful way to end your day, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps others find their way here too, one curious mind at a time. Now, let's begin this journey inward, into the remarkable machinery that is you. The cellular foundation, building blocks of life. Every journey through the human body must begin at its most fundamental level, with the cell. Right now, as you rest, you are not one thing but a community of approximately 37 trillion individual cells, each one alive in its own right, each one contributing to the greater whole that is you. These cells come in around 200 different varieties, each type specialized for particular tasks, from the neurons that carry thoughts to the muscle cells that move your limbs, from the immune cells that defend against invaders to the red blood cells that ferry oxygen through your bloodstream. A single cell, despite being invisible to the naked eye, is itself a world of complexity. Picture a cell, magnified thousands of times. You would see a membrane, a delicate boundary made of lipids and proteins, holding everything together while carefully controlling what enters and exits. This membrane is not a simple wall but an intelligent barrier, studded with channels and pumps and receptors, constantly sensing the environment and responding to chemical signals from other cells. Inside this membrane lies the cytoplasm, a gel-like substance that fills the cell and provides a medium for countless chemical reactions. Floating within the cytoplasm are organelles, specialized structures that perform specific jobs. The nucleus, often described as the cell's control center, contains your DNA, that famous double helix twisted and coiled into chromosomes. This DNA is your genetic blueprint, approximately 3 billion base pairs of information that encode the instructions for building and maintaining your entire body. If you could unwind all the DNA in a single cell and stretch it out, it would measure about 6 feet long. Now, multiply that by 37 trillion cells, and you have enough DNA to stretch from Earth to the Sun and back over 300 times. But DNA doesn't do anything by itself. It's a library, and like any library, it needs readers. Those readers are molecules called RNA, which transcribe specific sections of DNA and carry those instructions to ribosomes, the protein-making factories of the cell. Proteins are the workhorses of your body, carrying out nearly every function imaginable. Some proteins form structural components like the collagen in your skin. Others act as enzymes, speeding up chemical reactions by factors of the millions. Still, others serve as hormones, transporters, defenders, or messengers. Your body contains somewhere between 80,000 and 400,000 different types of proteins, and at any given moment, a cell might be producing hundreds of thousands of protein molecules. The mitochondria deserve special mention. These organelles, often called the powerhouses of the cell, convert nutrients into ATP, the energy currency that powers cellular processes. Every action your body performs, from blinking to breathing to thinking, ultimately relies on ATP generated by mitochondria. What makes mitochondria particularly fascinating is that they have their own DNA, separate from the DNA in the nucleus. This is because, according to current scientific understanding, mitochondria were once independent bacteria that entered into a symbiotic relationship with our ancestors' cells billions of years ago. You are, in a sense, a cooperation between two ancient forms of life. Cells don't exist in isolation. They communicate constantly through chemical signals, physical contact, and electrical impulses. They organize themselves into tissues, groups of similar cells working together toward common purposes. Tissues organize into organs, and organs into organ systems. This hierarchy, from molecule to cell to tissue to organ to system to organism, represents one of the fundamental organizing principles of life. But it's important to remember that the hierarchy flows both ways. What happens at the cellular level affects the whole body, and what happens to the body affects its cells. Every cell in your body, with a few exceptions like red blood cells and neurons, is constantly being replaced. The lining of your stomach replaces itself every few days. Your skin cells turn over roughly every 2 to 4 weeks. Even your bones, which seem so permanent, are completely rebuilt approximately every 10 years through a process called remodeling. You are, quite literally, not the same physical being you were years ago. Most of the atoms that currently make up your body were not a part of you in the past. You are a pattern, a process, a continuity of information more than a continuity of matter. And yet, somehow, through all these changes, you remain recognizably yourself. In recent years, scientists have made remarkable discoveries about just how many cells we have and what they do. The 37 trillion figure represents our best current estimate. though the exact number varies from person to person and changes throughout life. Researchers have also been mapping all the different cell types in the human body, creating detailed atlases that reveal just how diverse and specialized our cellular population really is. Some cells, like the Purkinje cells in your cerebellum, have branches so complex they look like trees. Others, like red blood cells, are simple discs without even a nucleus, stripped down to perform one job with maximum efficiency. The relationship between cells and the fluids that surround them is also more complex than once thought. Between your cells lies the interstitium, a network of fluid-filled spaces discovered only in recent years when scientists developed new imaging techniques that could examine living tissue without destroying its structure. Previous methods had collapsed these spaces, making them invisible. The interstitium contains about a third of your body's water and appears to be connected throughout your entire body, forming highways that may help explain how diseases spread and how the immune system patrols for threats. This discovery reminds us that even after centuries of studying human anatomy, we're still finding new structures, new systems, new wonders hidden in plain sight. As you lie here now, your cells are working. They're taking in nutrients and expelling waste. They're repairing damage to DNA. They're responding to hormones and neurotransmitters. They're dividing to replace old cells. They're manufacturing proteins and breaking down toxins. They're communicating with neighbors and distant cousins across your body. They're doing all this without your conscious awareness, without your effort, without you even knowing the names of most of the processes involved. You are not just in your body. You are your body, a symphony of 37 trillion musicians playing a composition of astonishing complexity, and somehow, impossibly, it all works. The skeletal system, the body's living architecture. Beneath your skin and muscle lies your skeleton, and if you've ever seen one in a biology classroom or museum, you might think of bones as dead, dry, chalky things, empty structures that simply provide support. But your bones are very much alive. They're organs, filled with blood vessels and nerves, constantly rebuilding themselves, storing minerals, producing blood cells, and even secreting hormones that affect other parts of your body. Your skeleton is not a scaffold you're built around, but an active, dynamic system that adapts to the demands you place on it. An adult human skeleton contains 206 bones, though we're born with around 270. The difference comes from fusion as we grow. Many bones that start as separate pieces gradually merge together, like the bones of the skull or the vertebrae at the base of the spine. This process generally completes by our mid-20s, though some fusion can continue even later in life. Bones come in several varieties. Long bones, like your femur or the bones in your arms, provide leverage for movement and contain yellow marrow that stores fat. Short bones, like those in your wrists and ankles, provide stability and some movement. Flat bones, like your skull, ribs, and shoulder blades, offer protection for vital organs and provide large surfaces for muscle attachment. Irregular bones, like vertebrae, have complex shapes suited to their specific functions. And then there are sesamoid bones, small bones embedded in tendons, like your kneecap, which help tendons move smoothly over joints. If you could zoom in on a bone, you'd see it's not solid at all. The outer layer, called compact bone, is dense and strong, arranged in circular patterns around central canals that carry blood vessels and nerves. But inside this solid exterior lies spongy bone, also called trabecular bone, which looks like a honeycomb or a complex scaffold. This architecture is no accident. The arrangement of struts and spaces in spongy bone follows lines of stress, positioning material exactly where it's needed to resist the forces the bone typically encounters. It's the same principle engineers use when designing bridges and buildings, but bones figured it out millions of years ago through evolution. Inside many of your bones lies marrow, and this is where something truly remarkable happens. Red bone marrow is one of the largest organs in your body by mass, and it's a blood cell factory of staggering productivity. Every second, your bone marrow produces about 2 million red blood cells. Every second. It also produces white blood cells and platelets, the components that make your blood work. In infants, most bones contain red marrow, but as we age, much of it converts to yellow marrow, which stores fat. By adulthood, red marrow remains mainly in flat. Bones like the sternum, ribs, pelvis, and the ends of the long bones. Bones store 99% of your body's calcium and 85% of its phosphorus. This isn't just storage for storage's sake. Calcium is essential for muscle contraction, nerve signaling, blood clotting, and many other processes. When your blood calcium level drops, your bones release some. When it rises, bones absorb the excess. Your skeleton is a mineral bank, making deposits and withdrawals based on your body's needs. This is regulated by hormones, primarily parathyroid hormone and calcitonin, which work in opposition to keep calcium levels precisely balanced. The process by which bones maintain and rebuild themselves is called remodeling, and it never stops. Special cells called osteoblasts build new bone, depositing minerals and collagen fibers in organized patterns. Other cells called osteoclasts dissolve old bone, breaking it down and releasing minerals back into the bloodstream. In a healthy adult, these processes balance each other out, keeping bones strong while allowing them to adapt to changing stresses. When you exercise, especially with weight-bearing activities, the increased stress signals osteoblasts to strengthen the bone in those areas. This is why astronauts who live in microgravity lose bone density. Their bones, no longer stressed by gravity, begin to weaken. It's also why regular physical activity is so important for maintaining bone health as we age. Bones grow through a fascinating process. In developing fetuses and children, most bones start as cartilage models that gradually ossify, transforming into true bone through a process called endochondral ossification. Long bones grow longer at their ends, at regions called growth plates, where cartilage cells rapidly divide and then ossify. When you stop growing taller in your late teens or early 20s, it's because these growth plates have fully ossified and can no longer produce new cartilage. But bones don't stop changing just because you've stopped growing. They continue to remodel, getting stronger in some areas and weaker in others depending on use throughout your entire life. Joints, where bones meet, come in several varieties. Some joints, like those in your skull, are immovable. The bones fuse together for protection. Others, like those between vertebrae, allow limited movement. And then there are synovial joints, like your knees, hips, shoulders, and knuckles, which allow extensive movement. These joints are marvels of engineering. The ends of the bones are covered in smooth, slippery cartilage. The joint is enclosed in a capsule filled with synovial fluid, which lubricates the joint and nourishes the cartilage. Ligaments, tough bands of connective tissue, hold the bones together while still allowing movement. When working properly, the cartilage in a healthy joint has a coefficient of friction lower than ice sliding on ice, making it one of the slipperiest substances known. Your spine, or vertebral column, deserves special attention. It consists of 33 vertebrae, though some fuse together as you mature, leaving 24 movable vertebrae in an adult. Between most of these vertebrae sit intervertebral discs, tough cushions made of fibrocartilage with a gel-like center. These discs act as shock absorbers and allow your spine to bend and twist. Over the course of a day, as gravity compresses these discs, you actually become slightly shorter, losing about half an inch or more in height. When you lie down to sleep, the discs rehydrate and expand, making you taller again by morning. This is one of many rhythms your body follows without your awareness. The smallest bone in your body, the stapes in your middle ear, weighs only a few milligrams and is shorter than a grain of rice. Yet it's crucial for hearing, vibrating in response to sound waves, and transmitting those vibrations to the inner ear. The largest bone, the femur in your thigh, can support forces 30 times your body weight. Despite being hollow and full of marrow, it's stronger pound for pound than steel. Recent discoveries have revealed that bone is even more complex than previously understood. Osteocytes, cells embedded within the bone matrix, were long thought to be relatively passive, but we now know they form an extensive network that can sense mechanical strain and coordinate the remodeling process. Bones also produce hormones, including osteocalcin, which affects glucose metabolism, testosterone production, and brain function. Your skeleton is not just structural, but endocrine, not just support, but system. As you rest here now, your bones are bearing your weight, even in repose. They're releasing and absorbing minerals, maintaining precise chemical balances. In your bone marrow, millions of blood cells are being born this very moment. Osteoblasts are building, osteoclasts are dissolving, and the structure that holds you together is quietly, constantly renewing itself. In a decade, the bones you have now will be almost entirely replaced, rebuilt atom by atom, yet still recognizably arranged in the same pattern, still distinctly yours. The muscular system, the body's engines of movement. Your body contains over 600 muscles, and right now, even as you rest, hundreds of them are working. Muscles are the engines of movement, the means by which intention becomes action, the bridge between brain and the world. But muscles do far more than move. They generate heat, maintain posture, protect organs, and pump fluids through your body. They're found in forms you can control and forms that work without your conscious input, and all of them share the same basic principle. They convert chemical energy into mechanical force through the organized sliding of protein filaments. There are 3 types of muscle tissue in your body. Skeletal muscle attaches to bones and produces voluntary movement. It's what flexes when you bend your arm, what contracts when you walk, what tenses when you lift something heavy. Skeletal muscle is striated, meaning it has a striped appearance under a microscope, a pattern created by the regular arrangement of contractile proteins. This is the muscle you can consciously control, the muscle you build when you exercise, the muscle that can grow stronger or weaker depending on how you use it. Smooth muscle forms the walls of hollow organs like your stomach, intestines, bladder, and blood vessels. Unlike skeletal muscle, smooth muscle works involuntarily, controlled by your autonomic nervous system and hormones. It can work slowly and can maintain tension for long periods without fatigue. When your stomach churns food or your intestines propel waste, that's smooth muscle working. When blood vessels constrict to raise your blood pressure or dilate to cool you down, that's smooth muscle responding to signals. Smooth muscle is essential for processes you never think about, background operations that keep your body functioning. The 3rd type is cardiac muscle, found only in the heart. It shares properties with both skeletal and smooth muscle. Like skeletal muscle, it's striated, the protein filaments organized in regular patterns. Like smooth muscle, it works involuntarily. But cardiac muscle has unique properties all its own. Its cells are connected by specialized junctions called intercalated discs, which allow electrical signals to pass rapidly from cell to cell. This creates synchronized contractions, the coordinated squeeze that pumps blood throughout your body. Cardiac muscle is incredibly resistant to fatigue. Your heart began beating a few weeks after you were conceived, and it will continue until the moment you die, contracting around 3 billion times in an average lifetime without ever taking a break. How does muscle actually contract? The process involves proteins called actin and myosin, arranged in overlapping filaments. When a muscle receives a signal from a nerve, calcium ions flood into the muscle cells. These calcium ions bind to proteins that normally block the interaction between actin and myosin. When the blockage is removed, myosin heads grab onto actin filaments and pull, sliding the filaments past each other. This sliding shortens the muscle fiber, generating force. After the contraction, the calcium is pumped back out. The blockage returns, and the muscle relaxes. This happens simultaneously in thousands of muscle fibers, creating the contraction of the whole muscle. The energy for muscle contraction comes from ATP, that universal energy currency produced by mitochondria. Muscles store a little ATP for immediate use, but it's only enough for a few seconds of activity. For longer exertion, muscles must generate more ATP, which they can do through several pathways depending on the intensity and duration of activity. For quick, powerful bursts, muscles use creatine phosphate, a molecule that can rapidly regenerate ATP. For moderate activity, they break down glucose in the presence of oxygen, a process called aerobic respiration that's very efficient. For intense activity that exceeds the oxygen supply, They can break down glucose without oxygen through anaerobic respiration, which is less efficient and produces lactic acid as a byproduct. This lactic acid buildup is part of what causes muscle fatigue during intense exercise. Muscles grow stronger through a process of damage and repair. When you exercise, especially with resistance training, you create microscopic tears in muscle fibers. Your body responds by repairing these tears and making the fibers thicker and stronger, better able to handle similar stress in the future. This is why muscles get sore after unfamiliar exercise and why rest is as important as work in building strength. The adaptation is highly specific. Train for strength and you'll develop larger, more powerful muscle fibers. Train for endurance and you'll develop more mitochondria and better oxygen delivery systems. Your muscles adapt to become precisely what you ask them to be. The concept of muscle memory is real, though it's not actually the muscles that remember. When you learn a new physical skill, whether it's playing an instrument, swinging a tennis racket, or touch typing, you're creating neural pathways in your brain and spinal cord. These pathways become more efficient with practice, requiring less conscious attention. Eventually, the skill becomes automatic. This is procedural memory, stored in brain regions like the cerebellum and basal ganglia. Once established, these neural patterns can persist for years, even decades, which is why you can still ride a bicycle even if you haven't done so in years. Your largest muscle by mass is the gluteus maximus in your buttocks, essential for keeping your torso upright, a feature particularly important for our bipedal posture. The smallest muscles are in your middle ear, including the stapedius, which dampens the vibration of the stapes bone to protect your inner ear from loud noises. Your strongest muscle, in terms of force production, is your masseter, the jaw muscle, which can exert hundreds of pounds of pressure when chewing. Your tongue, often incorrectly called the strongest muscle, is actually a group of muscles working together, and while not the strongest, it's certainly among the most flexible and precise. Muscles need a rich blood supply to deliver oxygen and nutrients and remove waste products. During intense exercise, blood flow to working muscles can increase by 20 times or more. This is why exercise causes your heart rate to rise, and why trained athletes develop more extensive networks of blood vessels in their muscles. Muscles also contain specialized proteins like myoglobin, which stores oxygen the way hemoglobin does in blood, providing a reserve for intense activity. In recent years, scientists have discovered that muscles produce signaling molecules called myokines during contraction. These myokines can affect other organs, reducing inflammation, improving insulin sensitivity, promoting brain health, and even fighting cancer. This helps explain why exercise has such wide-ranging benefits beyond just making muscles stronger. Your muscles are not just motors, but endocrine organs, broadcasting chemical messages that influence your entire body. The ability of muscles to generate heat is crucial for maintaining body temperature. When you're cold and start shivering, that's your muscles contracting rapidly to generate heat. Even without shivering, muscle tone, the slight tension always present in your muscles, contributes significantly to body heat. This is why staying still in cold conditions makes you colder faster, and why people with more muscle mass tend to be warmer. As you rest now, many of your muscles are relaxed, but not all. Your diaphragm continues contracting rhythmically to pull air into your lungs. Muscles in your blood vessel walls maintain appropriate blood pressure. Muscles in your digestive tract slowly push a food along. Your heart muscle squeezes and releases, never pausing. Even your skeletal muscles maintain slight tension, the muscle tone that keeps you from completely collapsing. Your body is never fully still, never completely at rest. It's a constant, gentle dance of contraction and relaxation, tension and release, playing out in hundreds of muscles simultaneously. The nervous system and brain, the command center. Inside your skull sits the most complex object in the known universe. Your brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons, each one connected to thousands of others, forming an estimated 100 trillion connections called synapses. If you tried to count one synapse per second, it would take you more than 3 million years to count them all. This vast network generates your thoughts, stores your memories, creates your emotions, coordinates your movements, regulates your body's internal environment, and produces your sense of self. Every experience you've ever had, every person you've ever loved, every word you've ever spoken exists as patterns of activity in this 3-pound organ. A neuron is a specialized cell designed to transmit information rapidly across distances. It has a cell body containing the nucleus and cellular machinery, dendrites that reach out like branches to receive signals from other neurons, and an axon that carries signals away to other cells. Some axons are microscopic, connecting nearby neurons. Others are over 3 feet long, like the axons that run from your spinal cord to your toes. When a neuron fires, an electrical impulse called an action potential races down the axon at speeds up to 250 miles per hour. This is how your brain tells your toe to wiggle, how your toe tells your brain it's been stubbed, how every part of you communicates with every other part. But neurons don't quite touch each other. Between the axon of one neuron and the dendrite of another lies a tiny gap called a synapse, usually only about 20 to 40 nanometers wide. When an action potential reaches the end of an axon, it triggers the release of chemicals called neurotransmitters. These molecules drift across the synaptic gap and bind to receptors on the receiving neuron. Depending on the type of neurotransmitter and receptor, this can make the receiving neuron more or less likely to fire its own action potential. This is how information transfers from neuron to neuron, translated from electrical to chemical and back to electrical signals. Your brain uses dozens of different neurotransmitters, each with specific roles. Glutamate is the main excitatory neurotransmitter, making neurons more likely to fire. GABA is the main inhibitory neurotransmitter, making neurons less likely to fire. The balance between excitation and inhibition is crucial for proper brain function. Too much excitation can cause seizures. Too much inhibition can cause unconsciousness. Other neurotransmitters have more specialized roles. Dopamine is involved in motivation, reward, and movement. Serotonin affects mood, sleep, and appetite. Acetylcholine is important for attention, learning, and muscle control. Norepinephrine increases alertness and arousal. Many drugs that affect the brain work by mimicking, blocking, or otherwise modifying neurotransmitter activity. The brain itself can be divided into several major regions, each with specialized functions. The cerebrum, the largest part, is divided into two hemispheres connected by a thick bundle of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. Each hemisphere is further divided into 4 lobes. The frontal lobe, behind your forehead, is involved in planning, decision-making, personality, and voluntary movement. The parietal lobe, near the top and back of your head, processes sensory information about touch, temperature, and pain, and is involved in spatial awareness. The temporal lobe, on the sides of your head, processes sound and is important for memory and language. The occipital lobe, at the very back, processes visual information. Beneath the cerebrum lies the cerebellum, a structure at the back of your head that looks like a smaller, separate brain. For many years, the cerebellum was thought to primarily coordinate movement. But we now know it's also involved in attention, language, and even emotional processing. It contains more neurons than the rest of the brain combined, about 69 billion packed into its compact, highly folded structure. The brain stem, connecting the brain to the spinal cord, controls many automatic functions essential for survival. It regulates breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and consciousness itself. Damage to the brainstem is often fatal or results in severe disability. Within the brainstem and surrounding it are structures collectively called the limbic system, which includes the hippocampus, important for forming new memories, and the amygdala, involved in emotional processing, especially fear. The outer layer of the cerebrum, called the cerebral cortex, is where much of the brain's sophisticated processing occurs. It's only about 2 to 4 millimeters thick, but it's intensely folded, increasing its surface area. If you could flatten out your cerebral cortex, it would cover about 2.5 square feet, roughly the size of a large pillowcase. This folding creates the characteristic wrinkles of the brain. The ridges are called gyri, the grooves are called sulci, and particularly deep grooves are called fissures. These aren't random. They form specific patterns that are generally similar from person to person, though there's individual variation. The cortex consists of gray matter, so called because of its appearance in preserved brains. This is where neuron cell bodies are concentrated. Beneath the cortex lies white matter, which gets its color from myelin, a fatty substance that insulates axons and helps electrical signals travel faster. The white matter is essentially the brain's wiring, bundles of axons connecting different brain regions. One of the most remarkable features of the brain is neuroplasticity, its ability to change throughout life. For many years, scientists believed that the adult brain was fixed, unable to generate new neurons or substantially reorganize. We now know this is wrong. New neurons are born in certain brain regions, particularly the hippocampus, even in elderly adults. More importantly, the connections between neurons constantly change based on experience. Learning something new strengthens certain synaptic connections and weakens others. Practicing a skill causes the brain regions involved to recruit more neurons and form more synapses. This is how we learn, how we adapt, how we recover from injury. This plasticity is most pronounced in childhood. A young child's brain forms synapses at an astounding rate, creating far more connections than it will ultimately keep. During adolescence and early adulthood, a process called synaptic pruning eliminates unused connections, streamlining the brain for efficiency. This pruning doesn't stop completely in adulthood. Your brain is constantly editing itself, strengthening important connections and eliminating weak ones, sculpting its structure based on how you use it. Recent research has revealed how crucial sleep is for brain function. During sleep, especially deep sleep, the brain does essential maintenance. It consolidates memories, moving information from temporary to long-term storage. It clears out metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours, using a system called the glymphatic system that was only discovered in recent years. The brain appears to literally shrink slightly during sleep, increasing the space between cells and allowing fluid to wash away debris. Chronic sleep deprivation impairs this cleaning process and has been linked to increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. The blood-brain barrier is another fascinating feature. Most of your organs allow relatively free exchange between blood and tissue, but the brain is protected by tightly sealed blood vessel walls that carefully control what enters. This protects the delicate neural tissue from toxins, infections, and fluctuations in blood chemistry. But it also makes treating brain diseases challenging, as most drugs can't cross this barrier. Scientists continue to make surprising discoveries about the brain. In recent years, researchers found a previously unknown compartment in the subarachnoid space, a layer between the skull and brain filled with cerebrospinal fluid. They've discovered that the brain has its own lymphatic system, long thought to be absent, which drains fluid and waste. They've learned that different parts of the brain age at different rates, with some regions, particularly those processing touch, showing remarkable resistance to aging. They've even found that certain preserved ancient brains, hundreds or thousands of years old, contain proteins that folded in ways that prevented normal decomposition, giving us unprecedented opportunities to study historical neural tissue. Your brain consumes about 20% of your body's energy, despite being only about 2% of your body weight. This enormous energy demand reflects the constant electrical activity occurring within it. Even when you're resting, when you're not actively thinking about anything in particular, your brain maintains a baseline level of activity called the default mode network, which is involved in mind-wandering, self-referential thinking, and remembering the past or imagining the future. The brain doesn't work in isolation. It connects to the spinal cord, which runs down your back protected by vertebrae. The spinal cord is not just a cable carrying signals between brain and body. It processes information independently, coordinating reflexes and basic movements without brain involvement. This is why you jerk your hand away from something hot before you consciously feel pain. The reflex arc travels only to the spinal cord and back, saving precious milliseconds. From the brain and spinal cord, the central nervous system, extend nerves that form the peripheral nervous system. These nerves carry sensory information inward and motor commands outward, connecting your nervous system to every part of your body. Some nerves are under voluntary control, like those moving your arms. Others work automatically, regulating digestion, heart rate, breathing, and countless other functions without your awareness. As you lie here, your brain continues its endless work. Neurons fire in cascading patterns. Neurotransmitters drift across synapses. Memories consolidate. Your sense of self persists across moments. Your brain integrates sensory information from your body, maintains your breathing and heart rate, dreams if you drift into sleep, and somehow, mysteriously, generates the continuous stream of consciousness that is your experience of being alive. It does all this using electrical signals and chemistry, patterns and connections, yet somehow these physical processes give rise to thoughts and feelings, to the inner world that seems so different from mere matter and energy. The circulatory system, rivers of life. Right now, your heart is beating, squeezing, and relaxing about once per second, and with each beat, it's pumping blood through an extensive network of vessels that, if laid end to end, would circle the earth more than twice. This is your circulatory system, the transportation network that delivers oxygen and nutrients to every cell while removing waste products and carbon dioxide. It's a closed loop, constantly flowing, constantly working, essential for every moment of life. Your heart is a muscular pump about the size of your fist, located slightly left of center in your chest. It's actually two pumps working side by side. The right side receives oxygen-poor blood from your body and pumps it to your lungs to pick up oxygen and release carbon dioxide. The left side receives oxygen-rich blood from your lungs and pumps it out to your body. Each side has two chambers, an atrium that receives blood and a ventricle that pumps it out. Valves between chambers and vessels ensure blood flows in only one direction, opening and closing with each heartbeat, creating the familiar lub-dub sound. The heart's pumping is controlled by its own electrical system. A patch of specialized cells in the right atrium called the sinoatrial node, often described as the heart's natural pacemaker, generates electrical impulses at a regular rate. These impulses spread through both atria, causing them to contract. The signal then passes through another node, the atrioventricular node, which briefly delays it before sending it down specialized conducting fibers that cause the ventricles to contract. This built-in timing system ensures the atria contract first to fill the ventricles. Then the ventricles contract to push blood out. Your heart doesn't need your brain to tell it to beat. A heart removed from the body will continue beating if supplied with oxygen and nutrients. However, your nervous system and hormones can adjust heart rate and strength of contraction based on your body's needs. When you exercise, sympathetic nerves and hormones like adrenaline increase your heart rate and make contractions more forceful. When you rest, parasympathetic nerves slow things down. Your heart rate at rest averages between 60 and 100 beats per minute, though trained athletes may have resting rates below 60. During intense exercise, your heart rate can exceed 200 beats per minute. Blood vessels form the pathways through which blood travels. Arteries carry blood away from the heart under high pressure. The largest artery, the aorta, is about an inch in diameter where it exits the left ventricle. From there, arteries branch into smaller and smaller vessels, the smallest being arterioles. Arterioles lead to capillaries, the tiniest vessels, often only wide enough for blood cells to pass through in single file. Capillary walls are only 1 cell thick, allowing for efficient exchange of oxygen, nutrients, carbon dioxide, and waste products between blood and surrounding tissues. From capillaries, blood enters venules, which merge into progressively larger veins that return blood to the heart. Veins operate under much lower pressure than arteries and have thinner walls. Many veins, especially in the legs, contain one-way valves to prevent blood from flowing backward. Blood itself is a remarkable tissue, yes, a tissue, despite being liquid. It makes up about 7 to 8% of your body weight, approximately 5 to 6 liters in an average adult. Blood consists of plasma, a pale yellow fluid that's mostly water but also contains proteins, hormones, nutrients, electrolytes, and waste products. Suspended in this plasma are blood cells and cell fragments. Red blood cells, or erythrocytes, make up about 40 to 45% of blood volume. These are the most numerous cells in your body, with about 5 million in every microliter of blood. Red blood cells are unusual because mature ones lack a nucleus and most organelles, essentially being bags of hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen. Hemoglobin contains iron, which binds oxygen in the lungs and releases it in tissues. Iron is also what makes blood red. Each red blood cell lives for about 120 days, traveling through your entire circulatory system about 250,000 times during its lifespan. Your bone marrow must produce about 2 million new red blood cells every second to replace those that die. White blood cells, or leukocytes, are much less numerous than red cells but equally vital. There are several types, each with specific roles in your immune system. Neutrophils attack bacteria. Lymphocytes produce antibodies and coordinate immune responses. Monocytes clean up debris and become macrophages that engulf invaders. Eosinophils combat parasites. Basophils release chemicals involved in allergic reactions. White blood cell counts can vary widely based on health, with numbers increasing dramatically when fighting infection. Platelets, or thrombocytes, are not complete cells, but fragments of larger cells in bone marrow. When a blood vessel is damaged, platelets quickly gather at the site and stick together, forming a plug. They also release chemicals that activate clotting factors, proteins in plasma that work in a cascade to form fibrin threads that weave through the platelet plug, creating a stable clot. This process must be precisely controlled. Too little clotting leads to excessive bleeding. Too much causes dangerous clots that can block vessels, causing heart attacks, strokes, or pulmonary embolisms. Your circulatory system is divided into 2 circuits. The pulmonary circuit carries blood between heart and lungs, a short loop focused on gas exchange. The systemic circuit carries blood between heart and the rest of the body, delivering oxygen and nutrients while collecting waste and carbon dioxide. Blood leaves the left ventricle full of oxygen, travels through arteries, releases oxygen, and picks up carbon dioxide in capillaries, returns through veins to the right atrium, goes to the right ventricle, then to the lungs where it releases carbon dioxide and picks up oxygen, returns to the left atrium, goes to the left ventricle, and the cycle continues. Blood pressure, the force blood exerts on vessel walls, is essential for pushing blood through the circulatory system. It's measured in two numbers. The higher systolic pressure occurs when the heart contracts. The lower diastolic pressure occurs when the heart relaxes between beats. Normal resting blood pressure is typically around 120 over 80 millimeters of mercury, though this varies with age, activity level, and individual factors. Blood pressure is highest in arteries near the heart and decreases as blood travels through smaller vessels. By the time blood reaches capillaries, pressure is quite low. In veins, pressure is lowest of all, which is why veins rely on valves and the pumping action of surrounding muscles to help push blood back to the heart, especially from the legs. Many factors regulate blood pressure. The kidneys adjust blood volume by retaining or excreting water and salts. Blood vessels can constrict or dilate to increase or decrease resistance to flow. The heart can beat faster or slower, stronger or weaker. Hormones and nerves constantly adjust these variables to maintain appropriate blood pressure for current needs. In recent years, research into cardiovascular health has revealed how interconnected this system is with the rest of your body. Chronic inflammation, stress, sleep disorders, gut bacteria composition, and even oral health can all affect cardiovascular function. Discoveries about the endothelium, the thin layer of cells lining blood vessels, have shown it's not just a passive barrier, but an active organ that regulates blood flow, prevents clotting, and influences inflammation. Dysfunction of the endothelium is an early step in cardiovascular disease. Scientists have also made progress in artificial hearts, valve replacements, and even growing blood vessels from stem cells. The first successful whole eye transplant, though not yet restoring sight, occurred recently and demonstrated that complex vascularized organs can be transferred. Researchers have performed experimental organ transplants from genetically modified pigs, including kidneys and even a liver that continued producing bile in the recipient. These advances suggest that the challenges of organ shortage may eventually be overcome. As you rest, your heart continues beating, tireless and steady. Blood flows through your arteries, swooshing past branch points, squeezing through capillary beds so narrow that red blood cells deform to fit. Oxygen molecules release from hemoglobin, drift through capillary walls, and enter cells where they'll fuel mitochondria. Carbon dioxide makes the reverse journey from cells to capillaries to veins, carried back to the heart and then to lungs to be exhaled. In capillaries lining your small intestine, nutrients from your last meal enter your bloodstream. In capillaries in your kidneys, waste products filter out. In capillaries throughout your body, white blood cells patrol for threats. The river flows on, an intricate loop sustaining every cell, every tissue, every part of you. The respiratory system. Breath by breath. You've been breathing since the moment you were born, taking about 20,000 breaths every day, 8 million breaths every year. Breathing is so automatic, so constant, that you rarely think about it. Yet each breath is a carefully orchestrated process that brings oxygen into your body and removes carbon dioxide, enabling the cellular respiration that powers your life. Air enters your body through your nose or mouth. Your nose is specially designed for breathing. Coarse hairs filter out large particles. Mucus traps smaller particles and pathogens. The nasal passages are lined with extensive blood vessels that warm incoming air to body temperature and add moisture, protecting delicate lung tissue. The turbinates, scroll-shaped bones lined with tissue, increase surface area for this warming and humidifying. Your sinuses, air-filled cavities in the bones of your face, also contribute to conditioning air and add resonance to your voice. From nose or mouth, air passes through the pharynx, the space behind your nose and mouth, and then through the larynx, your voice box. The larynx contains your vocal cords, folds of tissue that vibrate as air passes through them, producing sound. The pitch of your voice depends on how tightly these cords are stretched. When you're not speaking, the vocal cords are open, allowing air to pass freely. A flap of cartilage called the epiglottis covers the entrance to the larynx when you swallow, preventing food and liquid from entering your airways. Below the larynx is the trachea or windpipe, a tube about 4 to 5 inches long and nearly an inch in diameter, reinforced by C-shaped rings of cartilage that keep it from collapsing. The trachea divides into 2 bronchi, one entering each lung. Inside the lungs, bronchi branch into progressively smaller tubes called bronchioles, forming a tree-like structure. The smallest bronchioles end in clusters of tiny air sacs called alveoli. Your lungs contain about 300 million alveoli, providing a surface area for gas exchange of roughly 70 square meters, about the size of a tennis court, packed into the space of your chest. Each alveolus is surrounded by a network of capillaries. Here, oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange it across extremely thin barriers, only about half a micrometer thick, much thinner than a human hair. Oxygen dissolves in the moist alveolar surface, passes through the alveolar wall and capillary wall, and enters red blood cells where it binds to hemoglobin. Carbon dioxide makes the opposite journey, from blood plasma through the capillary wall and alveolar wall into the alveolar space, where it's exhaled. The mechanics of breathing rely on changing the volume of your chest cavity, which creates a pressure differences that move air in and out. When you inhale, your diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle below your lungs, contracts and flattens, moving downward. Muscles between your ribs, called intercostal muscles, also contract, pulling your rib cage up and out. These actions increase the volume of your chest cavity. According to Boyle's law, increasing volume decreases pressure, so pressure in your lungs drops below atmospheric pressure and air flows in. When you exhale at rest, your diaphragm and intercostal muscles simply relax. The elastic recoil of your lungs and chest wall decreases chest volume. Pressure rises above atmospheric pressure, and air flows out. For forceful exhalation, like when exercising or coughing, additional muscles contract to push air out more quickly. Your breathing is controlled primarily by your brainstem, which monitors carbon dioxide levels in your blood. When carbon dioxide rises, your brainstem increases breathing rate and depth to blow off excess carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide falls, breathing slows. This control is mostly automatic and unconscious, though you can voluntarily override it, at least temporarily. You can hold your breath, but eventually, rising carbon dioxide levels will force you to breathe. You can hyperventilate, but lowered carbon dioxide levels will make you feel dizzy and eventually cause you to stop. Oxygen levels also influence breathing, but less directly. Specialized cells in your carotid arteries and aorta detect low oxygen and signal your brainstem to increase breathing. This is usually a backup system, only becoming important in situations where oxygen supply is compromised, like at high altitude or in lung disease. Your lungs have more functions than just gas exchange. They filter small blood clots that might form in leg veins, preventing them from reaching vital organs. They produce substances that help regulate blood pressure. They're involved in immune defense, with specialized cells that engulf bacteria and particles. They even play a role in speech, providing the airflow that vibrates your vocal cords and allowing you to produce the sounds that form words. The respiratory system is vulnerable to many problems. Asthma involves inflammation and constriction of airways. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, often caused by smoking, destroys alveoli and causes airways to narrow. Pneumonia is infection and inflammation of alveoli. Lung cancer can arise from mutations in lung tissue, often triggered by smoking or other toxins. Pulmonary embolism, a blood clot in lung vessels, can be life-threatening by blocking blood flow and preventing gas exchange. Recent research has revealed interesting aspects of respiratory function. Scientists have discovered that lung cells can regenerate more extensively than previously thought. They have found that air pollution affects not just lungs but cardiovascular and nervous systems, contributing to dementia and other diseases. They've learned that certain breathing patterns can influence heart rate variability, stress hormones, and even immune function, providing scientific support for breathing techniques used in meditation and stress reduction. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted both the importance and vulnerability of the respiratory system. The virus primarily attacked respiratory tissue, and severe cases often involved extensive lung damage. The rapid development of vaccines and treatments was a remarkable scientific achievement, drawing on decades of research into immunology, virology, and respiratory medicine. As you breathe now, air flows in through your nose, warmed and filtered, down your trachea, through branching bronchi and bronchioles, into billions of alveoli. Oxygen crosses delicate membranes into your bloodstream. Carbon dioxide, waste product of cellular metabolism, crosses the other direction. Your diaphragm rises and falls, rises and falls. About 16 times per minute at rest. More when active, your body exchanges gases with the atmosphere. It's happening right now, mostly without your awareness. One of many automatic processes that keep you alive. The digestive system. Breaking it down. Every meal you eat begins a remarkable journey through your digestive system, a process that transforms food into the molecules your cells can use for energy, growth, and repair. This journey involves mechanical breakdown, chemical digestion, nutrient absorption, and waste elimination, all coordinated by a complex interplay of organs, enzymes, hormones, and even bacteria. Digestion begins in your mouth. Your teeth, harder than bone, cut, tear, and grind food into smaller pieces, increasing surface area for enzymes to work. You have 32 teeth as an adult, incisors for cutting, canines for tearing, premolars and molars for grinding. While you chew, salivary glands under your tongue and near your jaw secrete saliva, containing water, mucus, and enzymes. The enzyme amylase begins breaking down starches into sugars, which is why bread tastes sweeter if you chew it long enough. Saliva also contains antibacterial compounds, protecting against pathogens. Your tongue, incredibly flexible with its 8 separate muscles, manipulates food, mixes it with saliva, and eventually pushes it backward for swallowing. Swallowing is surprisingly complex. It starts as a voluntary action but becomes automatic once food passes a certain point. Your tongue pushes food to the back of your mouth. The soft palate rises to close off your nasal passage. Your larynx lifts, and the epiglottis folds over it, protecting your airway. Muscles in your pharynx contract in sequence, pushing food into your esophagus. Once in the esophagus, food is propelled by peristalsis, rhythmic waves of muscle contraction that push food along. You could swallow while upside down, and food would still reach your stomach. The journey from mouth to stomach takes only about 10 seconds. At the lower end of your esophagus is a ring of muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter. This normally stays closed to prevent stomach acid from splashing up into the esophagus. When food arrives, the sphincter relaxes to let food through, then closes again. Sometimes this sphincter doesn't work properly, allowing acid reflux, the uncomfortable burning sensation of heartburn. Your stomach is a muscular bag that can stretch to hold more than a liter of food and liquid. It has 3 main functions: storage, mixing, and beginning protein digestion. Cells in the stomach lining secrete gastric juice containing hydrochloric acid and enzymes. The acid is strong enough to dissolve metal with a pH around 2. It helps break down food, kills most bacteria and other pathogens, and activates enzymes. The main enzyme is pepsin, which begins breaking proteins into smaller fragments. To protect itself from its own acid, the stomach lining secretes a thick layer of mucus. Even so, the lining is constantly damaged and must regenerate quickly. Your stomach completely replaces its lining every few days. Muscular contractions of the stomach wall mix food with gastric juice, creating a thick liquid called chyme. After 1 to 4 hours, depending on the meal's composition, the stomach gradually releases chyme through another sphincter, the pyloric sphincter, into the first part of the small intestine, the duodenum. The small intestine is where most digestion and absorption occur. Despite its name, the small intestine is actually quite long, about 20 feet in an average adult. It's called a small because it's narrower than the large intestine. The small intestine has 3 sections: the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. In the duodenum, chyme is mixed with bile from the liver and digestive enzymes from the pancreas. The liver, your body's largest internal organ, produces bile, a greenish-yellow fluid containing bile salts that emulsify fats, breaking them into tiny droplets that enzymes can work on more easily. Bile is stored in the gallbladder and released into the duodenum when fatty food is present. The liver has hundreds of functions beyond bile production, processing nutrients absorbed from the intestine, storing glycogen and vitamins, producing blood proteins, breaking down toxins and drugs, regulating blood sugar, and more. The pancreas produces digestive enzymes that break down all three major types of nutrients: amylases for carbohydrates, lipases for fats, and proteases for proteins. It also secretes bicarbonate to neutralize stomach acid, creating a more favorable pH for these enzymes to work. The pancreas has another crucial role. It produces hormones insulin and glucagon that regulate blood sugar levels. These hormones are made by clusters of cells called islets of Langerhans, scattered throughout the pancreas. Diabetes occurs when this system fails. As food moves through the small intestine, pushed along by peristalsis, enzymes continue breaking it down into molecules small enough to absorb. Amino acids from proteins, simple sugars from carbohydrates, fatty acids, and glycerol from fats. The small intestine's inner surface is extensively folded, covered with tiny finger-like projections called villi, and the cells of the villi have even smaller projections called microvilli. This creates an enormous surface area, about 200 square meters, roughly the size of a tennis court, all folded into a space in your abdomen. This vast surface area is critical for efficient nutrient absorption. Inside each villus are blood capillaries and a tiny lymph vessel called a lacteal. Most nutrients are absorbed into capillaries and travel first to the liver, which processes them before releasing them into general circulation. Fats are absorbed into lacteals and eventually enter the bloodstream, giving lymph a milky appearance after a fatty meal. Not all food is digestible by human enzymes. Fiber, the structural material of plants, passes through largely intact. While we can't digest it, fiber has important benefits: adding bulk to stool, slowing nutrient absorption, feeding beneficial gut bacteria, and reducing the risk of various diseases. By the time food reaches the end of the small intestine, most nutrients have been absorbed. What remains enters the large intestine, or colon, which is wider but shorter than the small intestine, about 5 feet long. The large intestine's main functions are absorbing water and electrolytes, and storing waste until it's eliminated. As water is absorbed, the remaining material becomes more solid, forming feces. Your large intestine is home to trillions of bacteria, collectively called the gut microbiome. These bacteria, numbering more cells than all the human cells in your body, are not invaders but partners. They produce vitamins like vitamin K and some B vitamins. They digest fiber into short-chain fatty acids that nourish colon cells. They protect against harmful bacteria by occupying niches and producing antimicrobial substances. They help train your immune system. Recent research suggests gut bacteria influence not just digestive health, but mental health, immune function, weight, and risk for various diseases. The composition of your gut microbiome is influenced by diet, antibiotics, stress, and many other factors. Scientists are only beginning to understand this complex ecosystem. Feces accumulate in the rectum, the final section of the large intestine. When the rectum stretches enough, nerve signals create the urge to defecate. Defecation involves relaxing sphincter muscles and contracting abdominal muscles. Feces consist of undigested fiber, dead bacteria, sloughed-off intestinal cells, water, and small amounts of fats and proteins. The digestive process takes about 24 to 72 hours from eating to elimination, varying with the meal and individual factors. Throughout this journey, hormones coordinate activity. Ghrelin from the stomach signals hunger. Insulin from the pancreas promotes glucose storage. CCK from the small intestine stimulates bile and enzyme release and creates a feeling of fullness. Many others fine-tune the process. Recent discoveries have revealed new aspects of digestive function. The mesentery, tissue that attaches the intestine to the abdominal wall, was reclassified as an organ in recent years after research showed it plays active roles in immune and lymphatic function. Scientists have found that variations in gut organs are common, with the size and structure of the cecum, the pouch connecting small and large intestines, varying significantly among individuals. As you rest, your digestive system may be processing a recent meal or resting between meals. Smooth muscle continues slow peristaltic waves. Glands secrete small amounts of enzymes and acid, keeping things ready. Bacteria in your colon ferment fiber, producing gases and nutrients. Your liver performs its hundreds of chemical transformations, filtering blood, storing energy, building proteins. The system that keeps you nourished works on, breaking complex molecules into simple ones, absorbing what's useful, discarding what's not, in a process refined by millions of years of evolution. The immune system, your body's defense force. You're surrounded by potential threats: bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites. They're on every surface you touch, in every breath you take, on every bite of food you eat. Yet most of the time, you're healthy. This is thanks to your immune system, a complex network of cells, tissues, and molecules that defends against infection and disease. It's not located in a single organ, but distributed throughout your body, constantly patrolling, constantly vigilant. Your immune system has two main divisions: innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is your first line of defense, a set of barriers and responses that don't require prior exposure to a threat. These include physical barriers like your skin and mucous membranes, which block most pathogens from entering your body. If these barriers are breached, innate immune cells and molecules respond quickly, but non-specifically, attacking anything that looks foreign. Your skin is an effective barrier not just because it's a physical covering, but because it's slightly acidic and hosts beneficial bacteria that outcompete pathogens. When skin is broken, clotting mechanisms seal the breach, and immune cells rush to the area. Mucous membranes lining your respiratory, digestive, and urogenital tracts also provide barriers. Mucus traps pathogens, which are then expelled by mechanisms like coughing, sneezing, or being swept away by tiny hair-like cilia. Stomach acid kills many swallowed pathogens. Urine flushes bacteria from the urinary tract. Tears contain enzymes that break down bacterial cell walls. If pathogens get past these barriers, innate immune cells respond. Neutrophils, the most abundant white blood cells, are quick-acting cells that engulf and destroy bacteria. Macrophages, larger cells that develop from monocytes, also engulf pathogens and debris, and they present fragments of what they've eaten to other immune cells, helping to activate the adaptive immune response. Natural killer cells attack virus-infected cells and tumor cells. Eosinophils target parasites. Basophils and mast cells release histamine and other chemicals that trigger inflammation. Inflammation is a key part of the innate immune response. When tissue is damaged or infected, immune cells release chemicals that cause blood vessels to dilate and become more permeable. This increases blood flow to the area, bringing more immune cells and nutrients, and allows fluid to leak into tissues, causing swelling. The classic signs of inflammation are redness, heat, swelling, and pain. While uncomfortable, inflammation helps contain and eliminate threats. When the threat is gone, anti-inflammatory signals resolve the inflammation and begin tissue repair. Chronic inflammation, where this resolution doesn't occur properly, contributes to many diseases. The complement system is a group of proteins in blood plasma that work together to mark pathogens for destruction, attract immune cells, and directly kill bacteria by punching holes in their membranes. The complement system can be activated through multiple pathways, linking innate and adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity is more sophisticated but slower to develop. It involves lymphocytes, white blood cells that recognize specific pathogens and remember them for future encounters. There are two main types of lymphocytes: B cells and T cells, named for where they mature. Bone marrow for B cells, thymus for T cells. B cells produce antibodies, Y-shaped proteins that bind to specific antigens, molecules on the surface of pathogens. Each B cell makes antibodies that recognize one particular antigen. When a B cell encounters its matching antigen, it multiplies rapidly, creating many identical cells. Some become plasma cells that churn out antibodies. Others become memory B cells that persist for years or even decades, ready to respond faster if the same pathogen appears again. This is the basis of immunity following infection or vaccination. Antibodies work in several ways. They can neutralize pathogens by binding to them and preventing them from infecting cells. They can mark pathogens for destruction by macrophages and other cells. They can activate the complement system. Different classes of antibodies have different properties. IgM antibodies appear first during an infection. IgG antibodies are most common in blood and can cross the placenta to protect fetuses. IgA antibodies are abundant in mucus, saliva, and breast milk. IgE antibodies are involved in allergic reactions and defense against parasites. T cells have different roles. Helper T cells coordinate immune responses by releasing chemical signals that activate other immune cells. Cytotoxic T cells directly kill infected cells or cancer cells. Regulatory T cells suppress immune responses to prevent excessive inflammation and maintain tolerance to your own tissues. Like B cells, T cells are specific to particular antigens and form memory cells that provide lasting immunity. The specificity of adaptive immunity is remarkable. Your body can recognize and respond to billions of different antigens. This diversity arises from genetic recombination during lymphocyte development, randomly shuffling gene segments to create unique antigen receptors on each cell. The downside is that this system takes time to develop. When you're exposed to a new pathogen, it may take days for the adaptive immune response to become effective, which is why you often feel sick before recovering. But once developed, immune memory provides rapid protection against reinfection. Your immune system must distinguish between self and non-self, between your own cells and foreign invaders. This is accomplished through major histocompatibility complex molecules, MHC for short, present on all your cells. These molecules display fragments of proteins from inside the cell. If a cell is infected or cancerous, it displays abnormal proteins, marking it for destruction. Your immune cells are trained during development to ignore your own MHC molecules displaying normal proteins, a process called tolerance. When this tolerance fails, autoimmune diseases result, where the immune system attacks healthy tissues. Vaccination works by exposing your immune system to a harmless version of a pathogen, or part of one, prompting your body to develop memory cells without causing disease. Then, if the real pathogen appears, your immune system responds quickly and strongly, often preventing illness entirely or reducing its severity. Vaccination has eliminated or drastically reduced many deadly diseases and continues to save millions of lives each year. Your immune system changes throughout life. Infants have immature immune systems and rely partly on antibodies transferred from their mothers through the placenta and breast milk. The immune system strengthens through childhood as it encounters various pathogens. It peaks in young adulthood and gradually declines with age, a process called immunosenescence, which is why older adults are more susceptible to infections and respond less well to vaccines. Recent research has revealed how interconnected the immune system is with other body systems. Chronic stress suppresses immune function by altering hormone levels and changing how immune cells behave. Sleep deprivation reduces the number and function of immune cells. Exercise generally boosts immunity, though excessive exercise can temporarily suppress it. Nutrition profoundly affects immune function, with deficiencies in vitamins, minerals, or protein impairing immune responses. The gut microbiome plays major roles in training and regulating the immune system. Even mental health influences immunity, with depression associated with increased inflammation. Scientists have made dramatic advances in harnessing the immune system to fight disease. Cancer immunotherapies help the immune system recognize and attack tumor cells. Monoclonal antibodies, laboratory-made copies of immune system proteins, are used to treat cancers, autoimmune diseases, and infections. KIAR. T-cell therapy involves genetically engineering a patient's own T-cells to target cancer. These approaches represent new frontiers in medicine. As you rest, your immune system patrols. Neutrophils circulate through your bloodstream, ready to rush to any site of infection. Macrophages crawl through tissues, sampling their environment. Lymphocytes travel through blood and lymph, moving between lymph nodes, spleen, and tissues. Memory cells wait, alert for pathogens they recognize. Your skin and mucous membranes maintain their barriers. All these components work together, a distributed defense system protecting you from a world full of microscopic threats, usually so effectively that you're never aware of the battles being fought and won inside you. The endocrine system, chemical messengers. While your nervous system sends rapid electrical signals, your endocrine system communicates through hormones, chemical messengers released into the bloodstream that travel to target cells throughout your body. Hormones regulate growth, metabolism, reproduction, mood, sleep, and countless other processes. Unlike nerve signals that act in milliseconds, hormones work more slowly, but often have longer-lasting effects. The endocrine system includes several glands and organs that produce hormones, as well as the receptors on cells that respond to them. The pituitary gland, a pea-sized structure at the base of your brain, is often called the master gland because it controls other endocrine glands. It has two parts. The anterior pituitary produces growth hormone, which stimulates cell division and protein synthesis throughout the body. It also produces prolactin, which stimulates milk production. It produces hormones that control the thyroid, adrenal glands, and reproductive organs. The posterior pituitary releases oxytocin, involved in social bonding, childbirth, and milk ejection, and antidiuretic hormone, which helps regulate water balance by controlling how much water kidneys retain. The pituitary itself is controlled by the hypothalamus, a region of the brain just above it. The hypothalamus produces releasing and inhibiting hormones that control pituitary hormone secretion, linking the nervous and endocrine systems. The hypothalamus monitors many aspects of your body's state, temperature, blood sugar, water balance, and adjusts hormone release accordingly. Your thyroid gland, a butterfly-shaped organ in your neck, produces thyroid hormones that regulate metabolism, affecting nearly every cell in your body. These hormones control how fast cells use energy, influencing body temperature, heart rate, weight, and energy levels. The thyroid requires iodine to make thyroid hormones, which is why iodine is added to table salt in many countries. Too much thyroid hormone causes hyperthyroidism, with symptoms like weight loss, rapid heart rate, and anxiety. Too little causes hypothyroidism, with fatigue, weight gain, and depression. The thyroid also produces calcitonin, involved in calcium regulation. The parathyroid glands, 4 tiny glands on the back of the thyroid, produce parathyroid hormone, which regulates calcium levels in blood. Calcium is essential for muscle contraction, nerve function, blood clotting, and bone health. Parathyroid hormone increases blood calcium by stimulating bone breakdown, increasing calcium absorption in the intestine and reducing calcium loss in urine. Your adrenal glands sit atop your kidneys. Each has two parts. The adrenal cortex produces cortisol, a hormone that helps you respond to stress, regulates blood sugar, suppresses inflammation, and has many other effects. It also produces aldosterone, which regulates salt and water balance, affecting blood pressure. The adrenal medulla produces adrenaline and noradrenaline, hormones that prepare your body for fight or flight. When you're startled or stressed, these hormones increase heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar, divert blood to muscles, and heighten alertness. This response evolved to help our ancestors escape predators, and it still activates in response to modern stressors, even though running away is rarely the appropriate response. The pancreas, as mentioned earlier, produces insulin and glucagon, hormones that regulate blood sugar. After a meal, rising blood sugar triggers insulin release. Insulin signals cells to take up glucose from the blood, either using it for energy or storing it as glycogen or fat. Between meals, when blood sugar falls, glucagon is released. Glucagon signals the liver to break down glycogen and release glucose into the blood. This balance keeps blood sugar within a narrow range essential for proper cell function. In type 1 diabetes, the immune system destroys insulin-producing cells. In type 2 diabetes, cells become resistant to insulin's effects. Your reproductive organs produce sex hormones. The ovaries produce estrogen and progesterone, which regulate the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and secondary sex characteristics. The testes produce testosterone, which drives sperm production and secondary sex characteristics. Both sexes produce both types of hormones, though in different ratios. These hormones influence not just reproduction, but bone density, muscle mass, fat distribution, mood, and libido. The pineal gland, deep in your brain, produces melatonin in response to darkness. Melatonin helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle, promoting sleepiness at night. Exposure to light, especially blue light from screens, suppresses melatonin production, which is why using devices before bed can interfere with sleep. Many other tissues produce hormones too. Your stomach and intestines produce hormones that regulate appetite and digestion. Fat tissue produces leptin, which signals satiety and regulates energy balance. Your kidneys produce erythropoietin, which stimulates red blood cell production. Even your heart produces a hormone that affects blood pressure and salt balance. In recent years, scientists have discovered that bones produce hormones affecting metabolism and even brain function. Hormones work by binding to receptors on or in target cells. Some hormones, like steroid hormones, can pass through cell membranes and bind to receptors inside cells, directly affecting gene expression. Other hormones bind to receptors on the cell surface, triggering cascades of reactions inside the cell. The same hormone can have different effects on different tissues depending on what receptors are present and what cellular machinery is available. Most hormone secretion is regulated by negative feedback loops. When a hormone level rises, it inhibits further release. When it falls, release increases. This maintains homeostasis. For example, when a thyroid hormone levels rise, they signal the hypothalamus and pituitary to reduce production of hormones that stimulate the thyroid. When a thyroid hormone levels fall, these inhibitory signals decrease, and the hypothalamus and pituitary increase their signals to the thyroid. Similar feedback loops regulate most endocrine functions. Disruptions to the endocrine system can have profound effects. Hormone imbalances can cause a wide range of symptoms and diseases. Cushing's syndrome results from too much cortisol. Addison's disease from too little. Growth hormone excess in childhood causes gigantism. In adulthood, causes acromegaly. Hormone-producing tumors can cause overproduction. Autoimmune destruction of endocrine glands causes underproduction. Many environmental chemicals, called endocrine disruptors, can interfere with hormone signaling, potentially affecting development, reproduction, and health. Your endocrine system interacts extensively with your nervous system. Stress hormones affect brain function and mood. Brain function affects hormone production. This bidirectional communication helps coordinate responses to challenges. The field of psychoneuroendocrinology studies these interactions and has revealed how tightly linked mental and physical health truly are. As you lie here, your endocrine system maintains balance. Your pancreas adjusts insulin and glucagon based on blood sugar. Your pituitary releases pulses of growth hormone. Your pineal gland increases melatonin as light fades, preparing you for sleep. Your adrenal glands maintain baseline cortisol to support metabolism. These and many other hormones circulate through your blood, binding to receptors, triggering responses, maintaining the countless balances your body requires. The system works mostly silently, its messages carried in the bloodstream, its effects unfolding over minutes, hours, days, shaping how you feel, how you grow, how you respond to the world. Sensory systems, perceiving the world. Your experience of the world depends on your senses. Every sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch is created by specialized cells that convert a physical or chemical stimuli into electrical signals your brain can interpret. Your sensory systems are your windows to reality, though, as we'll see, what you perceive is a constructed model, not a direct experience of the world itself. Vision is perhaps your most information-rich sense. Your eyes are complex organs that detect light and form images. Light enters through the cornea, the clear front surface, which does most of the focusing. It then passes through the pupil, the opening in the colored iris. The iris adjusts pupil size, widening in dim light to let more light in, narrowing in bright light to protect the retina. Behind the pupil is the lens, which fine-tunes focus by changing shape, becoming rounder for near objects and flatter for distant ones. This focusing projects an inverted image onto the retina, the light-sensitive layer at the back of the eye. The retina contains photoreceptor cells, rods and cones. Rods are more numerous and more sensitive, allowing vision in dim light, but they don't detect color. Cones require brighter light, but provide color vision and sharp detail. There are 3 types of cones, each most sensitive to different wavelengths: short, blue, medium, green, and long, red. color vision arises from comparing signals from these three cone types. The center of your retina, called the fovea, is packed with cones and provides your sharpest vision. When you look directly at something, you're focusing its image on your fovea. Photoreceptors contain pigments that change shape when struck by light, triggering a cascade of reactions that ultimately creates an electrical signal. This signal travels through several layers of nerve cells in the retina before reaching ganglion cells, whose axons bundle together to form the optic nerve. The optic nerve carries visual information to the brain. Interestingly, because nerve fibers must pass through the retina to form the optic nerve, there's a spot where there are no photoreceptors, creating a blind spot in each eye. You don't normally notice because your brain fills in the missing information, and your eyes move constantly, building a complete picture. Your brain processes visual information in many stages. Early stages detect basic features like edges, motion, and color. Later stages recognize objects, faces, and scenes. This processing is so extensive that more of your brain is devoted to vision than to any other sense. What you see is not a passive recording, but an active construction. Your brain's best guess about what's out there based on the information received. Hearing depends on your ear's ability to detect vibrations in the air. Sound waves enter the outer ear, travel down the ear canal, and strike the eardrum, a thin membrane that vibrates in response. These vibrations transfer to three tiny bones in the middle ear, the malleus, incus, and stapes, collectively called the ossicles. These bones amplify the vibrations and transmit them to the inner ear. The inner ear contains the cochlea, a fluid-filled spiral structure that looks like a snail shell. Inside the cochlea is the organ of Corti, which contains thousands of hair cells, sensory cells with tiny projections called stereocilia. Vibrations traveling through the cochlea's fluid cause different regions of the organ of Corti to vibrate, depending on sound frequency. This bends the stereocilia, opening ion channels and creating electrical signals. Hair cells near the base of the cochlea respond to high-frequency sounds, while those near the tip respond to low frequencies. Your brain interprets the pattern of signals from different hair cells as sound pitch. Loudness is encoded by how many hair cells fire and how often they fire. The inner ear also contains your vestibular system, which senses balance and head movement. It has three semicircular canals oriented in different directions, each filled with fluid and lined with hair cells. When your head rotates, fluid lags behind due to inertia, bending hair cells and signaling the direction and speed of rotation. The vestibular system also has two structures called the utricle and saccule, which contain hair cells with tiny crystals of calcium carbonate resting on them. These crystals respond to gravity and linear acceleration, telling your brain which way is up and whether you're moving. Information from the vestibular system helps coordinate eye movements, maintain posture, and prevent dizziness. Taste and smell are chemical senses, detecting molecules in the environment. Taste receptors are found in taste buds, primarily on your tongue but also in your throat and palate. Each taste bud contains 50 to 100 taste receptor cells. These cells have proteins on their surface or vis that bind to taste molecules. there are 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, savory. Sweet taste often indicates energy-rich sugars. Salty taste indicates minerals. Sour taste warns of acids. Bitter taste warns of potential toxins, many of which taste bitter. Umami taste detects amino acids, indicating protein-rich foods. Most of what we think of as taste is actually smell, which is why food seems bland when you have a stuffy nose. Smell receptors are located in a patch of tissue high in your nasal cavity. You have about 400 different types of smell receptors, each responding to specific molecular features. Unlike taste, which has 5 categories, smell can distinguish thousands of different odors by combining signals from different receptors. Smell molecules dissolve in the mucus lining your nasal cavity and bind to receptors on olfactory neurons. These neurons send signals directly to the olfactory bulb, part of your brain, without first passing through the thalamus as most sensory information does. This direct connection may be why smells can trigger vivid memories and emotions. Touch is actually several senses. Your skin contains different types of mechanoreceptors that detect pressure, vibration, and stretch. Some respond to light touch, others to deep pressure. Some adapt quickly, firing mainly when touch begins or ends, detecting changes. Others adapt slowly, firing continuously while touched, detecting sustained pressure. Pain receptors, called nociceptors, detect potentially harmful stimuli like extreme temperature, intense pressure, or damaging chemicals. Temperature receptors detect warmth and cold. These various receptors create the rich texture of touch sensations. Beyond these classic senses, you have proprioception, the sense of your body's position in space. Receptors in muscles, tendons, and joints detect stretch, tension, and pressure, telling your brain where your limbs are and how they're moving without you having to look. This is how you can touch your nose with your eyes closed or walk without constantly watching your feet. You also have interoception, awareness of internal states like hunger, thirst, heartbeat, and breathing. These sensations, though often subtle, are crucial for maintaining homeostasis. Your sensory systems are remarkable not just for what they detect, but for how they transform physical phenomena into the subjective experiences of sight, sound, and feeling. The relationship between the physical world and perception is complex. Your senses have limited ranges. You can't see infrared or ultraviolet light that other animals perceive. You can't hear the high-frequency sounds that dogs hear, or the low-frequency sounds that elephants use to communicate over miles. Your senses also filter and interpret information. Your brain suppresses constant sensations like the feeling of clothes on your skin. It enhances contrasts and edges. It fills in gaps and makes assumptions. What you perceive is not reality itself, but your brain's useful model of reality. As you rest, your senses continue monitoring the world. Your eyes may be closed, but they still respond to the light that filters through your eyelids. Your ears detect every sound in the room, though your brain may not bring them to conscious awareness. Your skin feels the texture of whatever you're lying on, the temperature of the air, the gentle touch of fabric. Receptors throughout your body report on your position, your muscle tension, your breathing. All this information flows into your brain, where it's processed, integrated, and transformed into your conscious experience of this moment. The integumentary system, your protective barrier. Your skin is your largest organ, covering about 20 square feet on an average adult and weighing roughly 8 pounds. Far from being just a covering, your skin is a complex organ system that protects against injury and infection, regulates temperature, synthesizes vitamins, senses the environment, and even plays roles in immunity and hormone production. It's your boundary with the world, the interface where you end and everything else begins. Skin has 3 main layers. The outermost is the epidermis, a layer of cells that are constantly renewed. The bottom of the epidermis contains stem cells that divide continuously. As new cells form, older ones are pushed upward. As they move up, they fill with a tough protein called keratin and gradually die, creating a protective layer of dead cells at the skin's surface. This outer layer, the stratum corneum, is your main barrier against water loss, pathogens, and physical damage. You shed these dead skin cells constantly, losing about 30,000 to 40,000 every hour, over 1 million each day. Dust in your home is largely composed of shed skin cells. The epidermis also contains melanocytes, cells that produce melanin, the pigment responsible for skin color. Melanin protects deeper skin layers from ultraviolet radiation in sunlight. Everyone has about the same number of melanocytes, but they produce different amounts and types of melanin, creating the diversity of human skin tones. When you tan, it's because UV exposure stimulates melanocytes to produce more melanin. This provides some protection, but not enough to prevent DNA damage that can lead to skin cancer. This is why sun protection is important regardless of skin tone. Beneath the epidermis is the dermis, a thicker layer containing blood vessels, nerve endings, hair follicles, sweat glands, sebaceous glands, and connective tissue. The dermis provides strength and elasticity to skin, thanks to proteins collagen and elastin. Collagen fibers give skin its toughness. Elastin fibers allow it to stretch and return to shape. With age, these proteins break down faster than they're replaced, causing skin to become thinner, less elastic, and wrinkled. The deepest layer is the hypodermis, or subcutaneous layer, made mainly of fat and connective tissue. This layer insulates, stores in energy, and cushions underlying structures. The thickness of this layer varies by body location and among individuals. Your skin plays a crucial role in temperature regulation. When you're hot, blood vessels in the dermis dilate, increasing blood flow to the skin and allowing heat to radiate away. Sweat glands produce sweat, which evaporates and cools the skin. When you're cold, blood vessels constrict, reducing blood flow to the skin and conserving heat for vital organs. The tiny muscles at the base of each hair follicle may contract, causing hairs to stand up, creating goosebumps. This would create insulating air pockets in furrier ancestors, but does little for relatively hairless humans except, perhaps, as a remnant response. You have about 2 to 4 million sweat glands scattered across your body. Most are eccrine glands that produce watery sweat used for cooling. Some areas, like armpits and groin, also have epicrine glands that produce thicker sweat containing proteins and fats. This sweat itself is odorless, but bacteria on the skin break it down, producing body odor. Sebaceous glands, usually associated with hair follicles, produce sebum, an oily substance that waterproofs and lubricates skin and hair. During puberty, increased hormone levels boost sebum production, which is why acne often develops then. Skin is full of sensory receptors providing your sense of touch, pressure, vibration, temperature, and pain. Different receptors are distributed differently. Fingertips have dense concentrations of touch receptors, making them very sensitive, useful for manipulation and exploration. Other areas have fewer receptors and are less sensitive. This distribution helps you focus attention on important information while filtering out less relevant sensations. Skin also has immune functions. It serves as a physical barrier, preventing most pathogens from entering. Its slightly acidic pH and resident bacteria make it inhospitable to many harmful microorganisms. Specialized immune cells in the skin, called Langerhans cells, detect pathogens and activate immune responses. The skin even produces antimicrobial peptides that directly kill bacteria and viruses. When you're exposed to sunlight, specifically UVB radiation, your skin produces vitamin D. A molecule in the skin is converted to a precursor of vitamin D, which then undergoes further changes in the liver and kidneys to become active vitamin D. This vitamin is essential for calcium absorption, bone health, immune function, and many other processes. In modern times, with more time spent indoors and sunscreen use, many people don't produce enough vitamin D and may need supplementation. Skin's ability to heal is remarkable. When you cut yourself, multiple processes begin immediately. Blood clots to stop bleeding. Immune cells arrive to prevent infection. Skin cells at the wound edges begin dividing and migrating to fill the gap. New blood vessels grow into the area. Fibroblasts produce collagen to restore structural integrity. For small wounds, healing may leave no scar. Larger wounds or those that damage the dermis may heal with scar tissue, which lacks the hair follicles, glands, and regular collagen organization of normal skin. Your hair and nails are specialized structures made of keratin. Each hair grows from a follicle, with the living part of the hair below the skin surface and the visible shaft made of dead keratinized cells. Hair grows in cycles. A growth phase that can last years, a short transition phase, and a resting phase after which the hair falls out and a new hair begins growing. This is why you constantly shed hair. The length the hair can grow depends on the duration of the growth phase, which varies by body location and among individuals. Scalp hair has a long growth phase, allowing it to grow long. Eyebrow hair has a short growth phase, so it stays short. Nails grow from the nail root. Hidden underskin at the nail's base. Like hair, the visible nail is dead, made of hard keratin. Nails protect the sensitive fingertips and aid in manipulation of small objects. They grow continuously, about 1/10 of a millimeter per day for fingernails, slower for toenails. If a nail is lost, it can completely regenerate if the nail root remains intact, though this takes months. Skin varies across your body. Palms and soles have thick epidermis and no hair follicles, adapted for grasping and walking. Eyelids have very thin skin for flexibility. Lips have thin, translucent skin, rich with blood vessels, giving them their color. This variation reflects different functional demands. Recent research has revealed new aspects of skin biology. Scientists discovered that skin harbors a diverse microbiome with different bacterial communities in different locations, influenced by moisture, sebum production, and other factors. These bacteria interact with immune cells, influence skin health, and protect against pathogens. Researchers have also found that skin produces certain hormones and that its immune cells can remember past infections, providing localized immunity. As you rest, your skin protects you. It keeps water in and most pathogens out. It's sensing the environment, temperature, texture, pressure. It's regulating your temperature, perhaps producing a little sweat or adjusting blood flow. At its base, stem cells are dividing, creating new skin cells that will migrate upward over the coming weeks. Melanocytes are maintaining their production of pigment. Glands are secreting sebum. Your skin is not a static wrapper but a living, active organ, constantly renewing itself, constantly adapting to protect and serve the body within. Hidden systems and integration, the body as a whole. Beyond the major systems we've explored, your body contains other structures and networks that are equally essential but less often discussed. And, perhaps more importantly, all these systems don't work in isolation. They're intricately interconnected, constantly communicating, influencing each other in ways that blur the boundaries between them. The lymphatic system is a network of vessels, organs, and tissues that works alongside your circulatory system. Lymph vessels carry lymph, a clear fluid that leaks from blood capillaries into tissues and must be returned to the bloodstream. Unlike blood, which is pumped by the heart, lymph moves through one-way vessels aided by muscle contractions and breathing movements. Along these vessels are lymph nodes, small bean-shaped structures that filter lymph, trapping pathogens and debris. Lymph nodes contain dense concentrations of immune cells, making them important sites for immune responses. When you have an infection, lymph nodes near the infected area often swell as they work to fight the infection. The lymphatic system also includes several organs. Your spleen, located near your stomach, filters blood, removing old red blood cells and platelets. It also stores white blood cells and platelets and plays roles in immune responses. Your thymus, located behind your breastbone, is where T cells mature. It's most active in childhood and gradually shrinks with age. Tonsils and adenoids are collections of lymphatic tissue in your throat that help defend against inhaled or swallowed pathogens. The urinary system, which we haven't discussed in detail, is crucial for maintaining fluid balance and removing metabolic waste. Your 2 kidneys filter blood continuously, about 50 gallons per day. They remove urea, a waste product from protein breakdown, along with excess water, salts, and other substances. This filtered fluid, urine, travels through tubes called ureters to your bladder, where it's stored until elimination. The kidneys do much more than remove waste. They regulate blood pressure, maintain pH balance, control red blood cell production, and activate vitamin D. Recent discoveries have revealed systems we didn't know existed. The interstitium, discovered through new imaging techniques, is a network of fluid-filled spaces throughout the body, under the skin, lining the digestive tract, lungs, and urinary system, and surrounding muscles and organs. This network may contain about a third of the body's fluid and appears to act as a highway for fluid movement and possibly cancer spread. The mesentery, tissue that attaches the intestine to the abdominal wall, was traditionally considered just connective tissue, but has been reclassified as an organ with active roles in immune and lymphatic function. Scientists have also found that different organ systems communicate in surprising ways. Your gut bacteria produce neurotransmitters and other molecules that affect your brain and mood, the gut-brain axis. Your muscles produce myokines during exercise that benefit your brain, heart, and other organs. Your bones produce hormones that affect blood sugar regulation. Fat tissue isn't just energy storage, but an endocrine organ producing hormones that regulate appetite, metabolism, and inflammation. Even your heart produces hormones that affect kidney function and blood pressure. The concept of homeostasis, maintaining stable internal conditions despite external changes, depends on constant feedback and adjustment among systems. When you exercise, your muscular system demands more oxygen and nutrients. Your respiratory system increases breathing rate. Your circulatory system increases heart rate and redirects blood flow. Your endocrine system releases hormones that mobilize energy stores. Your nervous system coordinates all these changes. When you eat, your digestive system begins breaking down food. Your endocrine system releases hormones that prepare cells to absorb nutrients. Your circulatory system delivers those nutrients throughout your body. Multiple systems working in concert. This integration extends to the cellular and molecular levels. Cells throughout your body respond to hormones, neurotransmitters, cytokines, and growth factors. They adjust their gene expression, metabolism, and behavior based on signals from near and far. A single hormone can affect multiple tissues in different ways. A single tissue can respond to dozens of different signals. The result is a dynamic, adaptive system that responds to changing conditions. Your body also maintains circadian rhythms, approximately 24-hour cycles that influence nearly every system. These rhythms are driven by molecular clocks within cells, synchronized by light exposure detected by your eyes and communicated to the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your hypothalamus. Your body temperature fluctuates over the day, lowest in early morning and highest in late afternoon. Hormone levels fluctuate, with cortisol highest in morning to help you wake and melatonin highest at night to help you sleep. Your immune system is more active at certain times. Your digestive system is more efficient at certain times. Disrupting these rhythms through shift work or irregular sleep patterns can impair health. Your body is also remarkably redundant and resilient. You can survive with one kidney, one lung, part of your liver, and partial function of many organs. Your brain can often compensate for damage by rerouting functions to undamaged areas. Your immune system has multiple overlapping defenses. This redundancy provides safety margins, allowing continued function despite injury, disease, or aging. Yet the body is also vulnerable. Systems that usually work together can sometimes interfere with each other. The immune system, defending against infections, can cause damaging inflammation. Clotting mechanisms that prevent bleeding can cause strokes and heart attacks. Stress responses that help you escape danger can harm your health when chronically activated. As we age, systems gradually decline. Homeostatic mechanisms weaken, and the risk of dysfunction increases. Disease often arises from failures of regulation or communication between systems. Modern medicine increasingly recognizes this interconnectedness. Treating isolated symptoms without addressing underlying systemic issues often fails. Understanding how lifestyle factors like diet, exercise, sleep, and stress affect multiple systems simultaneously helps explain how simple interventions can have wide-ranging benefits. Precision medicine aims to understand individual variation in how systems function and interact, tailoring treatment to each person's unique biology. As you lie here, your body is an orchestra. 37 trillion cells playing their parts. Systems exchanging signals, adjusting activity, maintaining balances. Oxygen flowing from lungs to blood to tissues. Nutrients traveling from digestive system through circulation to cells. Waste products moving the opposite direction to kidneys and lungs. Hormones carrying messages. Neurons firing patterns that create thoughts. Immune cells patrolling for threats. Skin protecting. Bones supporting. Muscles ready to move. All of it happening simultaneously, coordinated by mechanisms refined over billions of years of evolution, creating the living, breathing, thinking being that is you. You are not separate from your body. You are your body, an intricate process unfolding across scales from molecules to cells, to tissues, to organs, to systems. You are a temporary pattern of matter and energy, but what a pattern! Complex beyond full comprehension, resilient yet fragile, ancient yet unique, a universe unto yourself connected to the larger universe around you. The more we learn about the human body, the more we discover just how much we still don't know. With every answer comes new questions. Recent discoveries of new organs and systems remind us that even basic anatomy still holds surprises. Advances in genomics, proteomics, and systems biology are revealing layers of complexity we're only beginning to understand. Technologies allowing us to watch living processes in real time show that what we learned from studying dead tissues was incomplete. The map is not the territory, and we're still mapping, still exploring, still discovering what it means to be human, to be alive, to be embodied. And now, as our journey through your inner universe comes to a close, I hope you found some wonder in these wanderings. From the smallest cell to the grandest system, from electrical impulses to conscious thoughts, From the oxygen you just inhaled to the atoms that form your bones, you are remarkable. You are a process billions of years in the making, carrying within you the elements forged in ancient stars, patterns shaped by evolution, and the unique experiences that make you distinctly yourself. If you've enjoyed this exploration and found it a peaceful way to end your day, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps others discover these calm journeys through science and curiosity. You can explore more topics in the videos below, or let the next chapter play if you're still awake. Rest well, knowing that even as you sleep, your body continues its quiet work. Your heart beats on. Your brain consolidates the day's memories. Your immune system patrols. Your cells repair and renew. You are never truly at rest, but always in motion, always becoming. This is the gift and the mystery of being alive. Sleep peacefully and dream softly. Good night.